Hola mi gente, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anthony. Today I wanted to do a full face of Latinx brands. It's gonna be mostly a full face, you know, we do what we can. Highlight some of the amazing Latinos and Latinas who are doing their thing right now. You guys can see it's a very pretty pinky look. We have the glow, we have the full coverage, we got a little, you know, nice little tint on the lips. And so if you want to see the brands that I used for this look and how I got this look, stay tuned. My face is already prepped. I got my serums, my moisturizers, my SPF, okay? And I figured I would just do the eyes first because I might go in with some glitter. So I'm gonna prep my eyes with the Rare Beauty concealer. I'm just gonna do a little bit. We don't need too much. I'm gonna take my little concealer brush. This is actually a crease brush from Sephora. I'm just gonna use that to spread this out. Now this is more of a hydrating concealer, so just be aware of that. It's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna set itself. And I've never used this as an eye base, but it's doing a good job, like kind of brightening the lid a little bit because my lids can be a little bit dark. So the lids are primed and I'm actually gonna go in with the Midas Cosmetics Flower Bomb palette. I just did a video on my first impressions of this palette right before this one. So if you haven't seen that, I will go check it out. Look at all these amazing colors, okay? You definitely want to go check out that video. Now today I'm going to do something hopefully a little bit more simple. I think I'm just going to take this on the outer corners and then try to go in with this like pink glitter shade. So let's just make that happen. I'm just gonna take this Morphe E17 brush. It's like a small blender brush. And we're gonna go into Dahlia, which is this shade here. It's kind of like, I guess you could call it a maroon. Take some with that. I'm just gonna start patting that on the outer corner. The way these shadows perform is quite lovely. I do like to kind of pack it on first just because I find that they are more buildable than they are like a pressed pigment. So I just like to pack it on to get that color payoff. But it doesn't take much, don't get me wrong. Beautiful. I'm actually gonna take now the Sigma E42. If I'm not mistaken, Sigma is actually a Latino or Latina owned brand as well. Just so you know. Dahlia again on that same brush, so the same shade. I like this one because it's a little bit more pointed. And I'm just gonna kind of further bring that in to where my actual eye socket line is. Not my crease, but my eye socket line. You guys can see I'm just forming a shape. And then I'm gonna take my Morphe E17 brush that I had used initially. And I'm just gonna kind of blend that out so that way it's not super stark of a line. And I'm actually gonna go in with Magnolia, which is this, it's a very light pink, kind of like a pastel pink, and I'm gonna kind of just go on top, just kind of blending that out some. Now at this point I want to go in with a glitter, so I'm gonna take Blooming. It's a super pretty pink glitter, and I'm gonna use the E54 Medium Sweeper from Sigma. We love us some Sigma brushes. I find that with these glitters, the finger tends to be a little bit better. So I'm just gonna take my finger. We're gonna just tap that. Okay. So I'm not mad at that. Very simple pinky eye. Now, I think I'm gonna try to go in with a little bit more of Dahlia, which is that first maroon shade, to see if I can deepen the outer corners a little bit, just because I kind of want a little bit more depth. Yeah. Now, Midas Cosmetics is a Latina-owned brand, and they have much more than just eyeshadows. They sell lashes. They also sell, I believe they have face powders. They have face palettes, like contour highlight blush palettes that they just came out with. Very, you know, they have a good amount of stuff. So I definitely have been enjoying this eyeshadow palette. This is the only palette that I have from them, and I've been loving it so far. For the inner corner, I'm not really sure what I should do, but I'm thinking I might go in with this. It's called Rose Mallow, which is coming off a lot lighter on camera, but it actually is like a shimmery pink, shimmery light pink. I'm just going to go in with the Morphe E19 brush. This is actually a lip brush if I'm not mistaken, but I like to use this for inner corner highlighting application. Look at that. Look at that eye, guys. I think that that's really pretty, and it was pretty simple. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do the other eye real quick off camera, and then I'll be right back. So the eyes are pretty much done. You guys can see we did just a pretty, like a pink smoky, I guess you would say. Very, very easy to do. Took me almost no time. I did put a little bit of liner on. I used the Pat McGrath liner. Whatever I don't have that's Latina or Latino owned, I am going to try to use a black owned brand. Keep it all in the family. You know what I'm saying? Keep it all in the family. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys is actually near and dear to my heart. I'm actually going to go in with these Sonadora lashes. And this is in the style Beautiful. First of all, let's look at this packaging, okay? Slides down like this. And then these are the lashes that I'm using. I like these a lot. They're, you know, they give a little bit of drama, but they're not super, super, super full or fluffy. So they're just going to add like a little bit of spikiness, open my eyes up a little bit without covering the eye look. These are so special to me because these are by an actual friend. Her name is Tracy. You can follow her on Instagram at Tracy Does Makeup, or of course you can follow her lash Instagram at Sonadora Official. And I'll leave everything down below, of course, but she's an amazing friend that I've made over social media that is just so supportive of my makeup. And when she came out with her lash line, I was just so excited. And they are just absolutely beautiful. They really are. Hence the name. Beautiful. Now, if you've seen me put on lashes before, you know I do it a little differently. I like to put on my glue first, which is the Duo Glue. Just gonna kind of... And then we just want to give this a second to dry down. And you'll know it's dry because it'll go from like a white color to pretty much clear. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. They're just so pretty and spiky. I love them. I love them so much. Of course, she is a fellow Latina, so go support. Now that the glue has pretty much dried, I'm just going to pop these on. And then I take my tweezers just for the inner corner. Easy peasy. And then I just press them down and voila. You have a lash. Like I said, this style is very nice. It's a little bit more natural, so it's not going to be super, super dramatic, but I like them for that reason because I have smaller eyelids. So before my glue dries completely on the other side, let me go ahead and do that side as well. You see that? So pretty. And I'm going to take the Rare Beauty. This is the primer that they have. It's an illuminating primer. Now this is a hydrating primer. So most people can use this primer unless you're extremely oily. So for foundation, I'm actually going to go into a brand that you guys all know very well. We're going to go into Beauty Blender. I don't know if you guys knew that Beauty Blender is a Latina owned brand, but it certainly is. So whenever you use a sponge, know that you're supporting a Latina. Now I'm in the shade 3.7 and I actually love this foundation. This foundation is a little bit more on the matte side. I should have used a beauty blender, right? I don't have an actual beauty blender. I wish I did, but I'm just going to use my Juno & Co sponge. I'm just going to go ahead and start applying the foundation. I actually hadn't worn this foundation in a while, and then I popped it on for my Flower Bomb palette review, and I was like, damn, I forgot how bomb this foundation is. Now it does match my neck obviously better than it matches my face, because again, my face is a lot lighter than my neck, and you can see just the finish of this foundation. It's very like smoothing, has a good amount of coverage. I took maybe 1.5 pumps and I was able to cover my entire face very easily. I don't know about you guys, but that's some coverage, okay? Covered all my little glitter marks, all of that. So thank you so much, Beauty Blender. We appreciate you. This is where we start to experiment, okay? Because I've actually never used some of these brands together. So now I'm gonna go into the Rare Beauty concealer, and this is a very liquidy concealer. So I'm interested to see how it does with this foundation. Highlight a little bit, and then taking my sponge. I always blend out my concealer with a sponge. That's just what I'm comfortable with. I can blend it out with a brush, but I will still go in with a sponge anyway, so far it's blending well. The real test is under the eye. Okay, Rare Beauty. Look at that base. Okay. We about to be snatched. I'm excited. I am using Dermablend. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a setting powder from a Latina owned brand, but I do like this brand's powder a lot, so I'm just going to use what I know. Now, the rest of my face, I set very lightly. Tell me that skin doesn't look smooth as a baby's bottom, okay? Now, if you see any texture like right here or right here, that's not any of the products. I've been having a little bit of eczema on my face, so that'll be that. But other than that, this is coming together very nicely, in my humble opinion. So now we're gonna go in with blush. Now, blush, I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty again. I know this is becoming a mini Rare Beauty tutorial part 2, but I just have, you know, most of the base products. So, and this is in the shade Joy. Now, one thing I learned from applying this the last time was that you need very little bit. So we're gonna act like we've learned. One thing I really did like about this was that you can layer it over an already set face. Yeah, that's pretty. Again, if you guys don't know, Rare Beauty is owned by Selena Gomez, another Latina, and it is sold at Sephora along with the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender stuff is sold at Sephora as well. Midas Cosmetics, you can get from their personal website. Now, if you know me, you know I love blush, so don't be surprised by how much blush I put on, okay? Going back in with Rare Beauty, y'all are gonna be so sick of me, but this is what I have. This is what I have in my collection. This is their highlighter in Outshine, and I'm gonna go ahead and highlight, or start to highlight. This is another product that you don't necessarily need too much of. And that just gives a very nice, more natural glow because I didn't go in too heavy. You guys can see the type of glow that it gives you. It's a very nice, very natural glow. It's coming together. Look at this face, guys. So I'm going into my Beauty Bakery Coffee and Cocoa palette, which I love. And I'm going to go in and bronze with this shade right there called Deja Brew. And I'm just going to take, this is an IT Cosmetics brush. An angled brush. I'm just gonna do some real quick bronzing to the face. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Morphe M508 brush. So I'm gonna go back into Dahlia and just hit the under eye real quick. So I'm actually gonna go in with Magnolia, which is again that light pink shade. Kind of add that underneath. I'm going to leave my bottom lashes alone because I like to just, you know, have my eyes look more open. So for highlight, because you must be out your mind if you thought that I was done with highlighting. So I'm going to go in with the Artist Couture and Jackie Aina collab, which is, again, one of my favorite highlights. One of my favorite highlights. Artist Couture is a Latino-owned brand. He is also a member of the LGBTQ community, so represent 2 times, okay? And that's by Mag Daddy, where he makes a ton of highlighters. He has eyeshadow palettes. He's also now sold at Sephora, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm gonna take his highlight and just kind of touch up where I want things to beam. And this is in the shade La Peach. Take a little bit of this on the nose, of course. Never have too much highlight is always my thing, okay? I'm gonna take a little bit of the Rare Beauty Blush and Joy, okay? Since we use that on our cheeks, just putting a little bit on the back of my hand, the tiniest dot. And I'm gonna actually just use this on my lips like that. And then keeping it in the family because I don't have a gloss per se. I'm gonna go into Fenty, the Diamond Gloss. This is the white one. And we're gonna just put that on our lips. And this just gives you like the most juicy lip ever. And that is my face. Full face of Latino-owned makeup brands, Latinx. And then before I go, I did want to show you guys something else. So this is not makeup related, but it is artistic and it is by a Latina who I chat with on social media here and there. She's just super sweet. Her name is Art by Sir. So if you don't follow her already, please go follow her. She does amazing art. And for my birthday, I ended up getting a print of hers, one of her paintings. And I just wanted to show it to you guys because it's with the theme, of Latino heritage. Look at this painting, you guys. Look at this painting. So for those of you who don't know, I am Puerto Rican, and this is the painting that I got from her. You can see the flag. You can see some of the landmarks of the island. You have the castle in San Juan over here. You got palm trees. You got tropical birds. And then you have some of the Taíno symbols that are our native indigenous peoples of Puerto Rico that, that first lived there before colonization. And so I just wanted to point this out because this is just so special to me. But again, her name is Art by Sir. I'll also have her linked down somewhere in the description box. She is a Puerto Rican artist. She does pieces for all different types of Latino countries. Or Latinx countries. I just love her art. And I just really wanted to highlight that as well because she's also a Latina and she's doing her thing. The reason I wanted to do this is because I feel like people never really highlight Latinx Heritage Month or Latino Heritage Month. It's something that people always just kind of gloss over, no matter what year it is, no matter what's going on. We contribute a lot to this country. And I want to highlight the Latinas and the Latinos who are doing their thing. It is important to give them time as well to shine and to acknowledge our people breaking generational curses, getting through hardship and following their dreams, whether it be makeup, whether it be painting and art, like Art by Sir. I wouldn't feel right in my heart if I let this month slide by and did not highlight some of the amazing Latinos, Latinas who are doing their thing in the makeup realm, but just in art in general. And of course, down below, I am going to have a full list of Latinx brands that you guys can check out because there are so much more than the few that I mentioned here. There's just so many beautiful places, so much diversity within our cultures, within the nations that we come from. And we also have a rich history. I encourage everyone to learn more about Latinx history, including our people. We had our history taken away from us so long ago that we think our history stops at our grandparents being from Puerto Rico. That's not the case. We have a rich history of African blood that runs through our veins, Taino blood that runs through our veins, Azteca blood, all types of indigenous peoples, people who just by us living to today are representations of their struggle, okay? So many cultures, religions, okay? You guys can't imagine the amount of diversity that Latin America has. It's not just a place where a bunch of us speak Spanish, okay? That's just not what it is. And so I just wanted to take a moment and highlight our rich culture and the things that we're doing here in America as well, because it's just so hard to be a minority in America, in a country that was never really made for us and was taken from our ancestors, if we're gonna be honest. But with that being said, guys, let me know again, what country is your family from? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite music? You like salsa, reggaeton, cumbia? What do you like? I want to know. You know what I'm saying? With all that being said, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys are staying safe. And I will see you guys the next time. Bye, mi gente.